food. I moved to United States to have a better life, including work.
Bam! CCTV and yours. Who am I? I don't even know who I am. But I'm just a brother trying to say something. What do those songs say? Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. So, hit TV for live. Hit YouTube for past weeks. And yes, I am Brother R.A. And last week, I didn't get to the particular issues that I wish to get to. So let's look at this. Hey, how do you say that word?
Nadir.
Nadir. Okay, and what is nadir? Nadir is the lowest point in the fortunes of a person or organization. Astronomy, the point on the celestial sphere directly below the observer. And, let's see if we can share a little bit more about that particular word, nadir. Here, take a look. Yes, this is Brother R.A. Oh my goodness, nadir. Oh, and I just happen to be wearing this shirt. Brothers on the Bluff? Well, Brother R.A. is no longer bluffing. What is that, Martha's Vineyard? And Brothers on the Bluff, yes. Oh, yes, I am living in Massachusetts. And Massachusetts, yes, my black ancestry, they escaped from down south. And now we live up north and now on vacation from Master's Plantation, I can go to Martha's Vineyard, Martha's Vineyard, yes, and become, one of the brothers on the Bluff. I'm drinking my tea. With my my pinky hanging out. Okay. And Brother R.A., what do I know? I don't know jack diddly squat. I'm just learning a little something about who I is. And I'm trying to move, maybe say a little bit further from my nadir. You see that right here? Nadir. That's my depth, my lowest point, versus my zenith, my highest point. And what does the language say about this on Wikipedia? Nadir, meaning counterpart, is the direction pointing directly below a particular location. That is, it is one of two vertical directions at a specified location. The orthogonal to a horizontal flat surface there, since the concept of being below is itself somewhat vague. Scientists define the nadir in more rigorous terms, specifically in astronomy and geophysics and related sciences. The nadir at the given point is the local vertical direction pointing in the direction of the force of gravity at that location. The direction opposite of the nadir is the zenith. Here, let's show you this picture also, just so that you can understand. I mean, the term nadir can also be used to represent the lowest point reached by a celestial body during its apparent orbit around a given point of observation. This can be used to describe the location of the sun, but it is only technically accurate for one latitude at a time, and only possible at the low latitudes. So, do we delve in our nadir, or do we reach our zenith? And being a divine energy, I am not your Negro. I had made reference last week that I was going to play some of this, but my path has been altered. Let's say that. And also getting cut off of last week's show. Didn't get to say I'm not your Negro. But that's okay, because my chi is leading me to where I need to go. And time and date, 106, as we get ready to go into 107. This is the calendar shot for June in the calendar that I've been reading. So I have a divine mind. You know, the brain is just a muscle. But I allow my mind and my imagination to delve deeper beyond Oaks, Bluff, and Martha's Vineyard, and deeper in myself. Should I allow an outside energy to determine my rate or path of growth and development? So, let's go ahead and read 1920, Saturday, June 1st, 1921. And how about if I do this here? Is that any better? Can y'all see that? Does that make sense upside down? And yeah, that's the RA emblem, a motto, or let me get to the Tao. That's my purpose. I want to read Tao today. But before I get to Tao, segregationist leaders. During civil rights movement, segregationist leaders devoted their time, money, and influence to oppose racial equality. Saturday, June 1st, 1921, white people attack prosperous black community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and burn it to the ground during 2 days of rioting that leaves up to 300 people dead. I'm not dragging my mind and my brain and my spirit through the mud, but I must be cognizant, conscious, sensitive, and aware of who I am as a melanin-dominant black man with a liquid pineal gland tapping into my zenith and my nadir. So let's just jump to today, the 5th. Today is June 5th, 2013. North Carolina House votes to repeal racist, North Carolina House votes to repeal Racial Injustice Act, ending remedy for racial bias in capital trials. Also, last year in 2018, UN Human Rights Office urges U.S. to stop separating immigrant families. There's only two type of people, right? Either you copulate and your genetic seed is in your child, definitely when you're melanin dominant. And if melanin dominant copulate with melanin recessive, black, brown, red, yellow people, melanin dominant, copulate with melanin recessive inbred mutant albino, the child will always come out with melanin dominant. So, that's that. Oh, I dealt with that. Quick. We get so much. Also, next error I made last week in dealing with Rain's film of Toni Morrison's film. It was not Soldier's Home, but Foreigner's Home. And so in my high state, no, I'm sober this week, no pipe, none of that. But Foreigner and Soldier, dealing with whose land is this and how did it, we're talking about immigrants, and who's the immigrant? The melanin dominant or the melanin recessive? After last week's show, I had another issue with family. And just to share, mommy and daddy, and I'm 18. This one here, I'm 5 years older. A particular distance between us. If I'm 18 going to my senior prom, how old is she? 18 minus 5. What is she? 12, 13? And now she has an 18-year-old son. And fortunately, he had the gumption enough to put his uncle and his uncle's sister, on the phone with him for 4 hours. The next day, I'm practicing my Tai Chi. And that's very calming, but he said, sit down, you need to take a rest. This is he. He said, take a rest. You're sweating too much. I don't know if I'm going to get to any portion of this. I'm not your Negro. And I've dealt with that. I'm recording on an SD card. Here, let me just share with you the DVDs. I couldn't watch this one. I'm tired of black folks regulating ourselves to entertainment. I couldn't finish Superfly, and only because I'm older, I expected to see the bald-headed guy with the beard be Superfly, not this young, sexy black man, as some women would say. And even Denzel flying an airplane upside down. Where is the black intelligentsia programming to deal with our miseducation, our color, complexion, light skin, dark skin, our self-hate, our internalization. Oh, I'm right. And my sister got mad at me because Nana taught me I was right, the world was wrong. If I am one and I'm tapping into my divinity and I'm working inside of myself and not working on external energies or serving a God outside of me, but seeing myself as one, this was interesting. White House down. But still, the white man is the savior with the black president. And Stone, what is the value of being melanin recessive and acting in 400 years of media and misinformation and self-hate? Skyscraper, But okay, we dealt with that. I'm still not your Negro now. EFFICACY. Efficiency is to get the job done satisfactorily. Okay. Is there a right and wrong, a good and a bad? Or is it just imbalance? What about, is there free will? The reality of the times we live in. How do you teach everybody to trust yourself? Do you have divinity just because you were born? Being born, you are one. Look at the letters. O, no beginning, no end. N, starting at the bottom, going up, coming down, going up. So E, there's that one line, and then the E at 3 levels. Are you that one? How do you teach? A line has depth. Each part of you as this one is a sphere. Are you balancing the 5 elements? Wood, fire, soil, metal, water. Are they balanced within your nadir and your zenith, within your one? Let's move ahead. We got to get the Tao 18 minutes in. This is a chess game in a cube. You saw the cube laid out? Maybe I'll show you that later. This is not just a square. Like in the chess game, there's 64 squares and it's all on a flat surface. But each square is a cube, has depth. And in this chess game, as I practice my Tai Chi, going into the different depths of who I am, meditation and movement, or going through the 108 different postures of the Tai Chi dance in 20 minutes. Am I performing some type of spiritual poetry in a higher level of relaxation, not being a bluff or a brother on a bluff, but I'm being balanced within understanding my life, the circle at the top of the straight line, the man and the woman unite, become the fallopian tubes, and be light. Practicing my Tai Chi on Fort Hill. 2 melanin dominant black men practicing meditation and movement. Master Heej teaching Brother R.A. how to tap in to my divinity, helping me to allow myself to see myself as one, not just a digit. Is that what we've regulated ourselves in this matrix of media and misinformation? You're just a digit. 01954. You are those numbers. What is that scene in the Matrix? I think we found the one. No. Have you found your one? How do you convey this type of conscientiousness? This type of, Here, Tao. Let's go to Tao now. Toni Morrison and I, we are not your Negro. Okay? I'm not your Negro. Okay, 21 minutes in, and I have my glasses on. I dealt with family. I'm recording. Balance. Oh, I wish to show pictures. Oh, that's right here. Can you contemplate this in your nadir, in your zenith, in you being the one? Can you contemplate yourself as where you are? Am I here in Central Square? And where is this Central Square in this? Who am I? The Milky Way is warped. Am I balancing all 5 elements in my nadir, in my zenith? And am I allowing myself in my spiritual poetry of movement, meditation, and movement and thought process? Here, y'all just look at this and I'll go ahead and read and y'all can contemplate. I'm going to read, right here on Unsurpassable Justice, brotherra.com. I am Brother R.A. On page 62. I'm going to take my time and dramatize this as much as I can to maybe convey a particular point and get a particular level of interpretation on the denotative level or the definition level of understanding, on the connotative or the innuendo level of understanding, and in the abstract levels of understanding. Page 62, interpretation. All that we experience is subjective. There is no sensation without interpretation. We create the world and ourselves. Only when we stop do we see the truth. The world exists, but we cannot truly be one with it in our normal modes of consciousness. Our minds know the world by constructing conclusions from the data of our senses. All that we know is filtered and interpreted. Therefore, there is no such thing as objectivity or direct knowledge of the fucking world. Okay, of the world. Everything is related. Everything is relative. Because we are each condemned to our particular vantage points. As long as we all have different perspectives, as long as perception relies on our senses, then there cannot be an absolute truth. All knowledge from experience, valuable as it may be, is imperfect and merely provisional. Inner truth is only glimpsed by disconnecting the mechanism of interpretation. If we can withdraw the activities of the senses and isolate that part of the mind responsible for filtering sensory input, then we can temporarily shut off the ongoing process of interaction with the outside world. We will then be in a neutral place that is wholly turned inward. We are left with an absolute state, entirely without distinction or relativity. This is called nothingness. And it is the truth underlying all things. Articulation 63, 1:30 into the show. And that was only one dial page read, making sure I'm covering all my bases, all my pictures, and yeah, I'm just gonna share some of these shots too Um, talking about Toni Morrison and last week, and so on and so forth. Y'all go ahead and read. That's right. The Foreigner's Home, and dealing with the indigenous man, and so on and so forth. But, I'm going to read Articulation. Rain dripping from eaves, sounds nature's poetry. We speak and write to explain to ourselves. Knowledge of Tao lodges in the same part of the mind as poetry. That is why the ancients expressed themselves in verse. There is the same quick perception. When we are in touch with Tao, it is not our academic learning that we are speaking, but the spirit of Tao itself. The old texts are very specific about this. That is why there is such a vast difference between the words of scholars and the words of a practitioner, just as the words of academics differ from the words of poets. At the elementary stages of study, we need to articulate our experiences and let Tao flow through us. Followers of Tao frequently use writing, art, even poetry as tools for self-discovery. By articulating their experiences, it helps them to understand the stages they are going through. Once they can do this, it satisfies and neutralizes their rational minds. The process clears away intellectualism and leaves the true Tao, which is not subject to words or images. Let's go ahead and continue into when I was reading this originally, Fantastic Voyage was playing in the background. Lakeside Stank. Dirty Low Down. Looking for that good stuff. Tighten up on your backstroke. So, I'm tightening up on my backstroke in the Milky Way. And now let's go to the beginning. Page 1. In 365 Tao, written by Dang Ming Tao, a melanin dominant individual. And as far as I'm concerned, melanin with a liquid pineal gland can convey a nonverbal message that a calcified pineal gland may not be able to with such balance. And that's all I'm doing, is seeking balance. Beginning. This is the moment of embarking. All auspicious signs are in place. In the beginning, all things are hopeful. We prepare ourselves to start anew. Though we may be intent on the magnificent journey ahead, all things are contained in this first moment. Our optimism, our faith, our resolution, and our innocence. In order to start, we must make a decision. This decision is a commitment to daily self-cultivation. We must make a strong connection to our inner selves. Outside matters are superfluous. Alone and naked, we negotiate all of life's travails. Therefore, we alone must make something of ourselves, transforming ourselves into the instruments for experiencing the deepest spiritual essence of life. Once we make our decision, all things will come to us. Auspicious signs are not a superstition, but a confirmation. They are a response. It is said that if one chooses to pray to a rock with enough devotion, even that rock will become, that rock will come alive. In the same way, once we choose to commit ourselves to spiritual practice, even the mountains and valleys will reverberate to the sound of our purpose. I am going to have this word pronounced for me. Just make sure I am, Mr. Rogers, he can't Mr. Rogers can't jack up the reading, can he? Here we go. Say this word right here.
Ablution.
Ablution. The act of washing oneself. Here, I'll even show it to you. Ablution. Often used for humorously formal effect. So, ablution. Washing at dawn, rinse away dreams. Protect the gods within. And clarify the inner spirit. Purifying starts all practice. First comes cleansing of the body, not to deny the body, but so that it is refined. Once cleansed, it can help us sense the divine. Rinsing away dreams is a way of saying that we must not only dispel the illusions and anxieties of our sleeping moments, but those of our waking ones as well. All life is a dream. Is it? All life is a dream, not because it isn't there, but because we all project different meanings upon it. We must cleanse away this habit. While cleansing, we naturally look within. It is believed that there are 36,000 gods and goddesses in the body. If we continually eat bad foods, intoxicate ourselves, allow filth to accumulate anywhere outside or inside of ourselves, then these gods abandon us in disgust. Yet, our concerns must ultimately go beyond these deities in the temples of our bodies to the universal one. After we clear away the obscuring layers of dirt, bodily problems and delusions, we must be prepared, even to clear away the gods themselves. So that we can reach the inner one. How is one drawn from top to bottom? How is I drawn from top to bottom? What eye do you use to look at your one? There's the line, Now, are you on the abstract level as you spell I? One with that line across. In the abstract, you just on the the connotative level of the I? Or are you on the denotative level of the I? E-Y-E, I. One, I. Just interpreting. Is that what I read in 62, interpretation? I got 15 minutes left. I'm only on page 3. Devotion. Make the crooked straight. Make the straight to flow. Gather water, fire, and light. Bring the world to a single point. If we have devotion, total faith and commitment to our spiritual path, our determination will naturally build momentum. Fewer and fewer obstructions will come before us. Our path becomes like a crooked one made straight. No matter what tries to keep us from our purpose, we will not be deterred. Proper devotion lies not simply in a headlong course. It also requires fortitude. Our bodies, our hearts, and our spirits must be totally concentrated upon what we want. I would say desire or wish. I don't like that word want. It has various connotations that I don't. But shut up, all right. Only by uniting all inner elements can we have full devotion. If we see our path clearly and our personalities are completely unified, then there is no distinction between the outer world and the inner one. Nothing is far away anymore. Nothing is not open to us. That is why it is said that the world is like a single point. So strong is devotion that there's nothing that is not a part of it. Reflection, page 4. Reflection. Moon above water. Sit in solitude. If waters are placid, the moon will be mirrored perfectly. if we still ourselves, we can mirror the divine perfectly. But if we engage solely in the frenetic activities of daily involvements, if we seek to impose our own schemes on natural order, if we allow ourselves to become absorbed in self-centered views, the surface of our waters become turbulent. Then we cannot be receptive to Tao. There is no effort that we can make to still ourselves. True stillness comes naturally from moments of solitude where we allow our minds to settle. Just as water seeks its own level, the mind will gravitate toward the holy. Muddy water will become clear if allowed to stand undisturbed. And so too will the mind become clear if it is allowed to be still. Muddy water will become clear if allowed to stand undisturbed. And so too will the mind become clear if it is allowed to be still. Neither the water nor the moon make any effort to achieve a reflection. In the same way, meditation will be natural and immediate. I got 7 minutes left, or less than that. Let's go quick. Sound, page 5. Wind in the cave, movement in stillness. Power in silence. In a cave, all outer sounds are smothered by rock and earth, but this makes the sounds of one's own heartbeat and breath audible. In the same way, contemplative stillness turns us away from everyday glamour, but allows us to hear the subtle in our own lives. When listening not with the ear, but with the spirit, one can perceive the subtle sound. By entering into that sound, we enter into supreme purity. That is why so many religious traditions pray, sing, or chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo as a prelude to silence. They understand that the repetition and absorption of sound leads to sacredness itself. The deepest sound is silence. This may seem paradoxical if we regard silence as an absence of life and vibration. But for a mediator, silence is the sound unified with all of its opposites. It is both sound and soundlessness. And it is in this confluence that the power of meditation emerges. Okay, so that's to 5. I've been your host, Brother R.A. We didn't get to I'm Not Your Negro. Maybe next week. And I got 20 seconds left. Emerging and forbearance, and there's so much more to share, but I am this woman's grandson. I love my nephew.